Hello, my divine kings and queens. I am back to do another video, and today we're going to be talking about God molding you. When God molds you, what does that necessarily mean? We come into this world, there are things that we're going to be faced with, right? Things that we may not necessarily be prepared for, but we have to go through it, because in going through it, that is when we learn. And in learning and growing from it, that is what prepares us for this next cycle or next phase or level that he is going to take us to. A lot of the times what you did not know is the purpose or the destiny that you have is given to you before you're even born and come into this world. So while you're being formed, while you're being developed, while you're growing, there's a process that you have to go through, right? There's a spiritual process that you all go through. And so before you're brought into this world, you're given this purpose, you're given this destiny. Now, once you're brought into this world, there are things that you're going to have to go through. And see, these things is life experiences that we go through, right? It could be learning the value of forgiveness, learning the value of self-love, learning about family, learning about friends, just learning about the world itself. And in going through these different phases and cycles, it's in God telling you, listen, I'm gonna have to strip you. See, before I prepare you for what it is that I have you for, yes, I have a bigger plan for you. I do. But before I take you there, there's a certain level that you have to be on, physically, emotionally, spiritually. In order to get you to this level, I have to mold you. But before I mold you, I have to strip you bare, right? Because when you're born into this world, you take on the form, you take on the beliefs of the world as well. You take on the values, because you don't know any better. You're not awakened yet. You get what I'm saying? You haven't tapped in yet. So there's certain things that you have to go through that God has to strip you of. He has to strip you of those belief systems. He has to strip you of those addictions. He has to strip you of those curses and attacks and a lot of things that was attached to you, a lot of things that you attached yourself to. He has to strip you. And then it's in this moment that you feel like, you know what, in that stripping process and him stripping you, right? In that phase or that process or that cycle of your life is insane. You're going to go through things that is going to test your faith. You're going to go through things that is going to have you up in your head. You're going to go through things that's really going to have you burdened. But it's in that moment that you lean more so, that you lean in on God more than you ever have in your life. Because it's in those moments that, like I said, you can't tell the forest from the trees. You don't know if you're going or coming. You don't even know if this is the life that you even want to live. You get what I'm saying? And it's like in that moment that you're about to give up is when he presents himself to you. And he said, you know what? Now you're ready for me to mold you. And so he takes you and he's molding you like clay. So what that means, he's teaching you certain things. Now he's teaching you a new way of thinking, a new way of going about things. He's opening up your mind to the possibilities that you can have in this world, possibilities that you never thought that you was worthy of, possibilities that you never would even deem that you would be qualified for. You know what I'm saying? Things that you never thought you would ever have in your life because of how people made you feel. But it's in that moment that God said, no. See, never feel that way, because this is something that I already picked for you to have, I already picked for you to step into. I just needed you to get to a certain level in your life. I needed you to get to a certain level of your life before I touched you and took you and brought you out of the world. And then now I can mold you and shape you up and build you up. And now it's in this moment that you are thinking differently. You have a new take on life. So now he says, okay, you know what? Now you're ready. Now you're ready. But see, I got some more work to do. We still got some more work to do, but now you're ready to be on this path because of the things that you have gone through. And it's in this moment that, like I say, a lot of people, and making you feel like you weren't on the ends of things. You were more so on the out. You weren't, cool enough. You wasn't this enough. Whatever it is that people made you feel like you was an outsider or a black sheep. It's always, like I said, the isolated beings that end up becoming spiritual healers, that end up becoming generational curse breakers. This is the destiny or the purpose that God has for you, to send a message, to send a very strong message, right? And so that message is, even though people made you feel bad for not being as cool on the ends with them, once they see what God do for your life and how these series of events is going to unfold and play out and come together in the end, it's going to have a whole lot of people up in their head that made you feel bad for who you were, made you feel bad for the things that you've done or the things that you've gone through, because now they see how it all worked together to play out for you. and for things to work in your favor in the end. You get what I'm saying? And this is how God orchestrated and set things to go. He was very calculated and very strategic in how he set this up for you, how he set this blessing up for you, how he set these miracles up for you. But it came at a cost. You had to go through some things. You had to feel some things, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't a good feeling. But it all played out for you in the end. And it played out in front of a whole audience of people who at once upon a time went up against you, talked about you, pushed you away, exiled you, excommunicated you, doubted you, delayed you. And now it's having these people been in here like, oh, well, I want that too. See, a lot of people that went up against you, what you realize, and these are some Me Too people. These people didn't have no sense of self. These people weren't as strong as you thought that they were. It's just you didn't realize the power invested in you. You didn't realize the power that you had. And it wasn't until that God called you and he was molding you that he showed you the powers that be. He showed you the powers that was invested in you. And you learned how to channel that power. You learned how to channel that energy. You learned how to channel that and capitalize off of it. And you turned a lot of things around in your life. You turned your very life around because once God revealed to you the power that you had, the power that was invested in you, you was able to channel that. And that's what gave you power over your enemies. That's what gave you a leverage over your enemies, over what was being sent your way. That's how you was able to overcome and learn from these situations that you went through. That's how you was able to overcome it. As well as your walk with God and entrusting in him and letting him lead the way and order your steps. So in God molding you, it's like him preparing and setting you up to take the stage. And this way that he's about to present you off, the way and the manner that he's about to show you off, a lot of people are going to be shocked because they're like, wait, who is this person? We don't know who this person is. This is not the same person that we once bullied. This is not the same person that we once ran with. This is not the same person. Some of these people are going to be learning from you. You're going to be teaching these people. You're going to be showing these people a new way, the same as God did for you. You see why I say you can't put your finger and your hand on who God chose and who he placed in certain positions, in certain moments in their life? To speak to someone, to touch someone, to bless someone. And he chose you. He molded you. He built you up to give back to his people in the same way that he gave to you. So don't shy away from it. And don't be scared because you're not alone. Just keep moving forward. And whenever you get weary, whenever it gets too much for you, you pray and allow God to lead your way. And until next time, I want y'all to stay prayed up and be blessed. I love y'all. Continue to hold your head up high. Never let nobody see you sweat. Stay blessed.